Welcome to our deep dive. We're taking a look at Gary Vaynerchuk's Crushing It.
A fantastic book.
It really is. And, our listeners are interested in entrepreneurship
Mm,
and personal branding
absolutely.
and making the most of social media. And this book really is all about that. It's like a playbook for building your own empire.
It is. And what I think is so fascinating about Crushing It is how it really shows this dramatic evolution.
Okay.
From his first book, Crush It,
Yeah.
we've gone from basically the beginning of social media to a world where influencer marketing is now a multi-billion-dollar industry.
I know. It's crazy how much things have changed.
It is.
His core message, though, really resonates. You have to build a strong personal brand
Yes.
to be an entrepreneur in this digital age.
Mm-hmm.
And he really gives a lot of good examples in the book,
He does.
like John Lee Dumas.
Yeah, John Lee Dumas is a great example. He's the guy behind the Entrepreneurs on Fire podcast.
Right.
And he really credits Vaynerchuk with his success.
That's amazing.
He says he listened to Crush It multiple times
Wow.
before it really clicked for him how important this idea of personal branding was.
It's interesting how sometimes you need to hear things a couple times
Right.
for it to really sink in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now he's got this hugely successful podcast. I mean, it's amazing. He's making like $200,000 a month
Yeah, huge.
from this
Look,
podcast.
that's phenomenal.
And he's actually incredibly transparent about it.
Yeah, he shares all of his, income reports.
Yeah.
On his website, on the podcast.
Right.
He really is, giving back in a sense
That's great. Yeah.
by being so open about what he's achieved.
And how he's done it.
Exactly.
So Vaynerchuk also uses some great analogies to really illustrate the importance of personal branding.
Yeah.
Like he compares it to being like Oprah or Muhammad Ali
Right.
or The Rock.
Yeah, he's saying it's not about a specific profession.
Right.
A strong personal brand gives you opportunities
Oh,
in any field that you decide to pursue.
And you don't need that gatekeepers anymore,
Right.
because the internet has become the
Right.
mainstream.
Right.
Everyone has this direct-to-consumer opportunity in every industry.
It's true.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like having, your own NBC, ABC, CBS
I love that.
all rolled into one.
Yeah.
Right.
That you control.
That you control.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And he really gives a lot of great examples in the book of people who have done that.
Like who?
Well, John the Fat Jewish Ostrovsky.
Okay, yeah.
He's really built his brand.
Yeah, he's a comedian.
Yeah.
He's really leaned into that on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Casey Neistat.
Right, the filmmaker.
He's built this amazing following on YouTube.
Leading to him actually selling his company to CNN
I know.
for like $25 million.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And it really shows you that each platform kind of offers its own unique path.
Its own unique path. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is. And one of the things that Vaynerchuk really stresses throughout the book is that lasting success doesn't come from trying to get rich quick.
Okay.
It comes from a deep passion and a commitment to providing real value. It's about playing the long game.
So it's not about like going viral for a minute.
Right.
It's about building something that lasts.
Exactly. It's about building something that lasts.
And he quotes Andy Frisella,
Yeah.
who says, it's going to be years.
It's going to be years. Yeah.
To really emphasize that patience and persistence are
Right.
key
Mm-hmm.
and that you need that passion
Yeah.
to fuel you through those really tough early years.
Right. And those early years are going to be filled with setbacks,
Yeah.
filled with what we might perceive as failures.
Right.
But crushing it is really all about embracing those failures
Okay.
as opportunities to learn,
Okay.
as stepping stones to success.
Interesting. So he's saying we shouldn't be afraid to fail.
Not at all. In fact, he even admits that he's made mistakes along the way. Like he thought the Appio Bongo was going to be huge,
Oh, wow.
and it totally flopped.
And he was wrong.
And he was wrong.
Wow. I love that he's so open about that.
Yeah. He's like, look, I don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
But the key is to take action,
Right.
to learn from your experiences, and to keep moving forward.
So he's really saying that we should focus more on doing than on just thinking about doing.
Exactly. Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Just start creating, start experimenting, and learn as you go.
Okay, so let's dive into some of the specific platform strategies he outlines in the book.
Absolutely.
He starts with musical.
Okay.
This is a platform that's really captured this younger demographic.
Yeah. A lot of people think it's just for kids doing lip syncing videos.
Right.
But Vaynerchuk sees a lot of potential for creative content there.
And he even talks about how he uses musical himself
Yeah.
to actually promote business ideas,
Yeah.
which I think is really interesting.
It is, because he's not actually using it for music.
Right.
He's using it to reach a new audience with his entrepreneurial message. And
Yeah.
he's doing it in a way that's engaging and relevant to that audience.
So it's all about adapting your message
Right.
to fit the platform.
Exactly.
And he then talks about Snapchat,
Okay.
which a lot of people think has become irrelevant.
Right.
But he argues that it's still incredibly valuable for authentic storytelling,
Uh-huh.
for creating content that's really raw and unfiltered.
It's a different vibe than, say, Instagram.
Right.
Where everything's so carefully curated.
So it's about being real and unpolished.
Yeah, and Vaynerchuk believes that's actually a great way to hone your marketing skills.
Okay, how's that?
Because on Snapchat, there are no hashtags, there's no fancy algorithm.
Right.
Your success depends entirely on your ability to create content that people actually want to watch.
I see.
You have to capture their attention organically.
And he gives the example of Sean McBride.
Yeah, also known as Sean Doris.
Right, who's really mastered Snapchat.
He has.
He started by just sharing his daily life.
Yeah, his adventures with his little sisters.
Right.
And he quickly realized that he could build a real audience on the platform.
And he's done amazingly well.
Yeah, he's partnered with huge brands like Disney, Red Bull, Taco Bell. He even got to promote Star Wars, The Force Awakens.
That's amazing.
It is. It shows you what's possible when you really understand how to use a platform to your advantage.
Okay.
Right.
And then we move on to Twitter,
Right, Twitter.
which Vaynerchuk says is often misunderstood.
Yeah, a lot of people find it overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's so fast-paced.
Right, it's hard to keep up.
It is, yeah.
But he argues that Twitter's real strength is in its conversational nature.
Okay.
It's all about real-time engagement.
Yeah, and Vaynerchuk says we need to become better listeners on Twitter
Okay.
to find conversations that we're passionate about
Right.
and to engage in those conversations authentically.
So it's not just about broadcasting your own message.
Right.
It's about really connecting with people.
Exactly.
And he even says that Twitter can be a great platform for business development,
Yeah.
for building relationships
Yeah.
that can lead to opportunities.
Because it's more conversational, people aren't bombarded with as many direct messages on Twitter.
Okay.
So your message is more likely to actually be seen and considered.
I see.
Yeah.
He gives this analogy of like a sportscaster wanting to get an internship at ESPN.
Right.
He's saying that the person who's actively engaging with ESPN personalities on Twitter,
Yeah.
showing their knowledge and their passion,
Right.
is going to have a much better chance than someone who just sends in a resume.
Exactly, because they're demonstrating their value in a real way.
And he says we should think of our Twitter activity as an ongoing interview.
It is.
It's a
Yeah.
chance to showcase our expertise,
Yeah.
our personality, what we have to offer the world.
Right.
And then we get to YouTube,
Okay.
which he calls the vlogging mothership.
He loves YouTube.
He does.
He really admires how it levels the playing field.
Yeah.
It gives anyone with a good story and valuable content
Yeah.
the chance to build an audience,
Yeah.
regardless of their background or resources.
And he really stresses experimentation and consistency on YouTube.
Yeah, he's all about trying different things,
Okay.
finding your voice,
Yeah.
and documenting your journey authentically.
So it's about being willing to put yourself out there
Yeah.
and learn as you go.
He uses his own experience with Wine Library TV as an example.
Right.
He didn't have it all figured out from the start.
Right.
He allowed the show to evolve organically.
Yeah.
He learned from his audience.
Yeah.
And he kept refining his approach over time.
It's about embracing the process.
It is, yeah.
And he really believes that YouTube is an incredible platform for vloggers and content creators.
Yeah, it really is. And he gives a lot of great advice in the book about how to optimize your videos and your channel for success.
Okay, like what kind of advice?
Well, he talks about the importance of crafting compelling titles, descriptions, and tags.
Okay.
He explains how to use YouTube cards to guide viewers to other content on your channel.
Right.
He even goes into detail about things like your channel banner, your About section, and how to organize your playlists.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's really thorough.
So it's about creating a really good user experience.
Exactly. You want people to enjoy spending time on your channel.
Right.
And one of his biggest pieces of advice for YouTube is to have a really strong channel trailer.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's the first thing people see when they land on your page.
Right.
So it needs to grab their attention and make them want to see more.
So it's kind of like a movie trailer.
It is, yeah.
It needs to be exciting and engaging.
Exactly.
Okay, so what's next?
Well, next we move on to Facebook,
Okay.
which Vaynerchuk describes as the juggernaut of the social media game.
Right.
And while some people might think Facebook is kind of old news, Vaynerchuk argues that it's still incredibly powerful for building a brand and generating wealth.
It's got that massive user base
It does, yeah.
and those amazing targeting capabilities.
Exactly. You can really zero in on your ideal audience.
Right.
And Facebook is unique in that it combines marketing, sales, and branding all in one place.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, it's a really comprehensive platform.
So it's not just about likes and shares.
No, it's about driving real business results.
And Vaynerchuk is really excited about Facebook Live.
He is, yeah.
He sees it as a game changer for connecting with your audience in real time.
He gives the example of Candace Payne.
Oh, Chewbacca Mom.
Yes, Chewbacca Mom. Her Facebook Live video went viral.
I remember that. It was everywhere.
It was, and it made her an internet sensation overnight.
And it just shows the power of that authenticity,
It does, yeah.
of those real unscripted moments.
And Vaynerchuk also emphasizes the importance of collaboration on Facebook.
Right.
He suggests reaching out to popular fan pages in your niche.
Okay. Offering to create valuable content for them.
Right.
Or proposing partnerships.
So it's about leveraging other people's audiences
Exactly.
to expand your own reach.
Right.
Okay, so then we get to podcasts,
Yes, podcasts.
which have exploded in popularity.
They have, yeah.
And Vaynerchuk shares his own experience with podcasting.
Right. He rebranded his podcast, The Gary V Audio Experience, to include a wider variety of content.
Okay.
And he found that really helped to grow his audience.
And he encourages podcasters to experiment with different formats.
Yeah, and to use analytics to see what's resonating with their listeners.
That makes sense.
And he also recommends incorporating calls to action into podcast episodes
Okay.
to direct people to other content you've created.
So it's about using the podcast as a springboard
It is, yeah.
to promote your other platforms.
Exactly.
And finally, we get to voice-first platforms.
Right, like Alexa skills and Google Home Actions.
Right.
Vaynerchuk is really excited about the potential of voice first.
He thinks it's going to revolutionize how we consume content.
And he urges listeners to jump on board early.
Yeah, he compares it to a gold rush.
Okay.
He says it's a prime opportunity to establish yourself before the market gets too crowded.
It's interesting to think about how we're going to be consuming content in the future.
It is. And Vaynerchuk sees voice first as a way to integrate valuable content into the interstitial moments of our lives.
Okay.
Like while we're brushing our teeth
Yeah.
or sorting through our mail,
Right.
those little moments that we usually just waste.
He's saying we can use them for learning and personal growth.
Exactly. He's all about maximizing our time and our potential.
It's exciting to think about what's possible
It is.
with these new technologies.
It is. And Vaynerchuk believes that we're still in the early stages of voice first.
Okay.
So those who experiment and innovate now will have a huge advantage in the years to come.
It's like being an early adopter.
It is, yeah.
You get to shape the future of the platform.
Exactly.
It's amazing. So
Yeah.
he gives a lot of great examples in the book of people who are crushing it.
He does, yeah. He showcases entrepreneurs from all walks of life,
Yeah.
proving that success isn't limited to a specific age, background, or industry.
And these stories are really inspiring.
They are, yeah.
They show that anyone can achieve their dreams if they're willing to put in the work.
And follow Vaynerchuk's principles.
Exactly. So let's delve into some of these inspiring stories.
Sounds good. Let's meet the people who are putting these ideas into action.
Okay. First up, we have Sally.
Okay.
She's a real estate agent in Sacramento, California.
Okay, yeah.
And she's using Facebook to really build her brand locally.
Interesting. How is she doing that?
Well, she's created a podcast that focuses on life in Sacramento.
Okay.
She interviews local influencers.
Uh-huh.
She shares insights into different neighborhoods.
Okay.
And then she uses Facebook's targeting capabilities to reach people who are interested in moving to Sacramento
Oh, that's smart.
or people who are thinking about relocating within the city.
Right.
So she's really combining content creation with targeted advertising.
Yeah, she's using Facebook to generate leads.
Exactly. And it's working really well for her.
That's great.
And then we have Brittany Castro.
Okay.
She's a financial planner,
Okay.
and she's focused on a very specific niche, women and couples in their 30s and 40s.
Oh, okay.
And she's created this really amazing online presence.
Oh, that's smart.
She's got a blog, a Facebook page, a YouTube channel, a Twitter account.
Wow.
And she's really tailoring her message to resonate with her target audience.
So she's speaking their language.
Exactly.
Understanding their needs.
And she even created this finance rap video on YouTube.
A finance rap video.
Yeah, to try and engage younger people.
Wow, that's creative.
It is.
So she's really thinking outside the box.
She is. And
Yeah.
it's really working for her.
That's great.
And then we have Rick.
Okay.
He's a clothing store manager in Nashville, Tennessee. And he's really mastered Instagram.
Okay, how is he using Instagram?
He's really good at showcasing his merchandise
Okay.
and creating this really visually appealing brand identity.
So he's taking advantage of Instagram's visual nature.
Exactly. He's posting high-quality photos of his clothing.
Okay.
He's got his employees modeling different outfits.
Yeah.
He's even got customers posting photos of themselves wearing his clothes.
Oh, that's smart. He's creating user-generated content.
He is.
Yeah.
And he's using relevant hashtags to reach a wider audience.
Okay.
And he's really active on the platform.
Oh, that's good.
He's responding to comments. He's engaging with his followers.
Right.
He's building a community.
Yeah. He's doing all the right things.
And then we have Jaden and her family.
Okay.
They've built a really successful lifestyle brand on Instagram.
Okay.
They share their experiences with travel, food, fashion.
Okay.
They create this really aspirational content
Right.
that people love to follow.
And are they working with brands?
They are, yeah. They've
Yeah.
partnered with a lot of different brands.
That's great.
And they've really turned their passion into a business.
So they're monetizing their influence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're a great example of how you can build a brand and make money doing what you love.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have Blanche and Judy.
Okay.
They're two senior citizens who started a podcast to share their wisdom and life experiences.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
The podcast is called Cranny's Got It,
I love it.
and it's really taken off.
Wow, that's fantastic.
They have listeners of all ages.
Okay.
And it just shows that podcasting is a platform for everyone,
It is, yeah.
regardless of your age or background.
Absolutely.
It's all about having a story to tell
Right.
and being willing to share it with the world.
Exactly.
And finally, we have Johnny.
Okay.
He's a landscaper,
Okay.
and he's using voice-first platforms to grow his business.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How is he doing that?
He's created an Alexa skill that gives people landscaping tips and advice.
Oh, wow.
So people can just ask Alexa for help with their landscaping.
And it directs them to his business.
Exactly.
That's really smart.
He's really thinking outside the box.
He is, yeah.
And it's working really well for him.
That's great.
So these are just a few examples of the many entrepreneurs who are crushing it.
Yeah, it's inspiring to see how they're putting these principles into action
It is.
and achieving such amazing results.
And it shows that anyone can do it
Absolutely.
if they're willing to follow Vaynerchuk's advice.
And put in the work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what's one of the big takeaways from all of these stories?
I think one of the biggest takeaways is the importance of documenting your journey.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Vaynerchuk is a big believer in capturing your experiences,
Okay.
both the good and the bad.
Right.
He sees it as a way to reflect on your progress,
Okay.
to learn from your mistakes,
Yeah,
and to inspire others.
that makes sense.
And he also says that documenting your journey can help you build credibility and trust with your audience.
Okay, how so?
Because when you're transparent about your struggles
Right.
and your setbacks,
Yeah,
it makes you more relatable.
right.
People see that you're human,
Yeah.
that you're not perfect.
And it makes them more likely to trust you
Exactly.
because they feel like they know you better.
Yeah,
So it's about being authentic and vulnerable
it is. Yeah.
and letting people see the real you.
Exactly.
And Vaynerchuk believes that documenting your journey is an essential part of building a lasting legacy.
He does, yeah.
He wants us to share our experiences with the world,
Right.
to help others learn and grow.
And to leave a mark on the world.
Exactly. And I think that's a really powerful message.
It is.
So another big theme in crushing it is the importance of embracing failure.
Absolutely.
Vaynerchuk doesn't see failure as something to be afraid of.
Right.
He sees it as a necessary part of the learning process.
He encourages us to reframe our perspective on failure,
Yeah.
to see it not as a setback,
Yeah.
but as an opportunity to learn and grow.
He's saying that every mistake is a chance to get better,
Exactly.
and that those who are afraid to fail will never reach their full potential.
Right, because they'll never take risks.
Right.
They'll never push themselves outside their comfort zone.
So he's encouraging us to be bold,
Yeah.
to experiment,
Uh-huh.
and to embrace the possibility of failure.
Because that's how we learn and grow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he also gives some really great advice about how to leverage different platforms effectively.
Yeah, he emphasizes that each platform has its own unique strengths and weaknesses.
Right. What works on one platform might not work on another.
Exactly. So it's important to understand the nuances of each platform
Okay.
and to tailor your content accordingly.
And he encourages us to experiment.
Yes, to try different things,
Yeah,
to
right.
see what works best for our brand and our audience.
And to be willing to adapt as the digital landscape changes.
Absolutely, because the online world is constantly evolving.
Right. New platforms are emerging all the time,
Yeah.
and old platforms are changing.
So it's important to stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's really emphasizing the importance of being flexible and adaptable.
He is, yeah.
And another key theme in Creating It is the importance of building a strong personal brand.
Absolutely.
Vaynerchuk believes that this is essential for anyone who wants to make a real impact in the world.
He's saying that your personal brand is more than just your logo or your website.
Right.
It's about who you are,
Yeah.
what you stand for.
And the value you bring to the world.
Exactly. It's about your unique story
Right.
and your unique perspective.
And he gives a lot of practical advice in the book about how to build a strong personal brand.
He does, yeah. He emphasizes the importance of authenticity,
Okay.
consistency,
Yeah.
and a commitment to providing value.
So it's about being yourself.
Yeah.
Sharing your passions.
Uh-huh.
And making a positive contribution to the world.
Exactly. And he also stresses the importance of connecting with your audience on a deeper level.
Okay.
He believes that genuine connections are the foundation of a successful brand.
So it's not just about broadcasting your message to the masses.
Right.
It's about building real relationships with people.
Exactly. It's about treating your audience as individuals,
Okay.
not just numbers on a screen.
And Vaynerchuk says that we should be actively engaging with our followers.
Yeah, responding to comments,
Yeah.
answering questions,
Oh,
having
right.
conversations.
So it's about creating a community.
It is, yeah. A community of people who are passionate about the same things you are.
And he also talks about the importance of embracing the future of technology.
Yes. Vaynerchuk is very bullish on technology.
Yeah.
He encourages us to stay informed about emerging trends,
Right.
to experiment with new platforms,
Yeah.
and to be willing to adapt as the digital landscape changes.
So he's saying that we need to be open to new ideas.
Yeah.
And we need to be willing to change with the times.
Exactly.
And I think that's a really important message for everyone,
It is,
no
yeah.
matter what field you're in.
Absolutely.
So Crushing It is a really powerful and inspiring book.
It is, yeah.
It's full of great advice and actionable tips,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a must-read for anyone who wants to succeed in the digital age.
I agree.
It's a great roadmap for building a brand, growing a business, and making a real impact in the world.
Absolutely.
So if you're ready to start crushing it, I
yeah.
highly recommend checking out Crushing It.
Me too. I
Right.
completely agree. Let's give him like a cheat sheet.
Right, like a cheat sheet for crushing it in the digital age.
Okay. Number 1, build a strong personal brand. Like I said, this is a foundation for everything.
Right, you got to define who you are, what you stand for, what makes you unique, what value do you bring to the table.
And then embrace the digital landscape, right? Which is constantly changing.
Yeah.
You've got new platforms popping up all the time, old platforms evolving. You have to be willing to adapt.
Yeah, you don't have to be on every platform,
Right.
but you do need to be strategic about which ones you choose.
You have to go where your audience is.
Right.
Okay. Number 3,
Dedication,
perseverance.
hard work.
It's not going to happen overnight.
No, building a successful business takes time. It takes effort. It takes grit.
Okay, number 4,
Provide value. Be a teacher.
share your knowledge. Help others.
It's not just about what you can get. It's about what you can give.
Okay, I like that. Number 5, embrace failure.
Yes, failure is part of the process.
It's how we learn and grow.
So don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Learn from them and keep moving forward.
Exactly.
Number 6,
Experiment.
adapt your strategies to different platforms.
Because what works on one platform,
Might not work on another.
right, you have to understand the nuances of each platform.
Number 7, authenticity and engagement.
Be yourself. Be real. Connect with people.
Build a community around your brand.
Okay, number 8.
Document your journey.
Share your experiences.
Inspire others.
Build trust.
Create a legacy.
Okay, number 9.
Collaborate.
Partner with others.
Leverage each other's strengths.
Expand your reach.
Achieve more together.
And finally, number 10.
Embrace the future of technology.
Stay curious.
Experiment with new platforms.
Adapt and evolve.
The future is exciting.
It is, and those who embrace it will thrive.
Absolutely. So those are our 10 takeaways.
A framework for crushing it.
A blueprint for success in the digital age.
And now let's dive into the stories.
Yeah, let's meet the people who are putting these ideas into action.
First up, we have Brian Wampler.
Okay, Brian Wampler.
He's a musician
Okay.
who turned his love of modifying guitar pedals into a business
So he took his passion.
and made it his profession.
That's great.
He started by just tinkering with electronics in his spare time.
As a hobby.
Yeah. He wanted to create unique sounds for his guitar.
Interesting.
He shared his creations with friends.
Okay.
Word of mouth spread.
Word of mouth is powerful.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And soon he had a growing demand for his custom pedals.
Okay.
So he saw the opportunity.
He saw the opportunity, yeah.
And he founded Wampler Pedals,
Okay.
a company that makes high-quality guitar effects.
That's awesome.
And it's a really successful business.
So he's crushing it.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all because he followed his passion.
And he was able to identify a need in the market.
Right.
That's great.
And then we have Alex.
Okay, Alex.
This is the founder of Foolie's Clothing.
Okay, Foolie's Clothing.
And his story is really all about the importance of connection,
Connection.
of building relationships with your customers.
Okay.
He believes that every customer interaction is an opportunity.
To make a positive impact.
Exactly.
Okay.
He goes above and beyond to personalize each purchase.
That's awesome.
He handwrites notes to every customer,
Wow.
thanking them for their support.
That's a really nice touch.
It is, and
Yeah.
it makes people feel valued.
It does.
Yeah.
It makes them feel special.
And it's really helped him build a loyal following.
It's all about those little details.
It is.
Yeah.
And then we have Timothy.
Okay, Tim.
He's a young construction entrepreneur,
Okay.
and he's really outmaneuvering his older competitors.
Interesting. How is he doing that?
He's embracing digital marketing.
Okay.
He's built a strong online presence.
Okay.
He's got a website. He's active on social media.
Right.
And he's attracting clients who are looking for a construction company that's tech savvy.
So he's using technology to his advantage.
He is, yeah. And it's really working for him.
It's smart because a lot of people in that industry
Right.
are still doing things the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's really differentiating himself
He is, yeah.
by embracing technology.
Yeah.
So Vaynerchuk also tells the stories of people who have crushed it on specific platforms.
Yeah, that's really helpful because it gives you a concrete example
Right. Of what's possible.
of what's possible, yeah.
So like Sean McBride.
Shondoris,
Right.
the Snapchat master.
He started by just sharing his daily life on Snapchat,
Right.
and he turned it into a massive following.
And lucrative brand deals.
Yeah, he's worked with some huge companies,
He has, yeah.
and it's all because he understood the platform.
He understood how to create content.
Right.
That resonated with the Snapchat audience.
And he was consistent.
He was consistent.
He posted regularly,
Yeah.
and he engaged with his followers.
Right, he built a community.
And then we have Sally.
Sally, the real estate agent
Right.
in Sacramento.
She used Facebook to build her local brand.
Right, she created a podcast
Right.
about life in Sacramento.
And she used Facebook ads
Okay.
to target people who were interested in moving to Sacramento.
That's smart.
And it worked really well for her.
So she combined content marketing
Right.
with targeted advertising.
And it was a winning combination.
Yeah.
And then we have Brittany Castro,
Okay.
the financial planner.
Yeah.
She focused on a niche market.
Women and couples in their 30s and 40s.
Right.
Okay.
And she created content specifically for them.
That's smart because she's speaking directly to their needs and interests.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she was really creative with her content.
Yeah. She even made a finance rap video.
That's amazing.
It is, yeah.
It shows you can have fun with it
You can. Yeah.
and still be educational.
Right. You don't have to be boring to talk about finance.
And then we have Rick.
Rick, the clothing store manager.
Right. He crushed it on Instagram.
He was really good at visual storytelling.
Yeah. He posted great photos of his merchandise
And he used hashtags strategically.
to reach a wider audience.
And he engaged with his followers.
He built a community.
Yeah.
And then we have Jaden and her family.
Okay.
They built a lifestyle brand on Instagram,
Okay, a lifestyle brand.
sharing their experiences with travel, food, fashion.
Okay, that's popular on Instagram.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And they've partnered with a lot of different brands.
That's great.
It's amazing what they've accomplished.
It is.
And then we have Blanche and Judy.
Oh, the podcasting grannies.
Right. They started a podcast to share their wisdom.
And it's a hit.
It is, yeah.
That's great.
They have listeners of all ages.
Okay.
It just shows that anyone can start a podcast.
You don't have to be young or tech savvy.
Right. You just need a story to tell.
And a willingness to share it.
And then we have Johnny,
Okay.
the landscaper who created an Alexa skill.
Oh, right, to give landscaping tips.
Yeah, it's a really smart way to reach potential customers.
It is, yeah.
He's using voice-first technology to grow his business.
That's innovative.
It is, and it's working really well for him.
That's great.
So these are just a few examples.
Of the many people who are crushing it.
Right. And it's really inspiring to see how they're using these principles to achieve their goals.
It is.
And it shows that anyone can do it.
Absolutely, if they're willing to put in the work.
And follow Vaynerchuk's advice.
Exactly.
So let's talk about documenting your journey.
Yeah, Vaynerchuk really emphasizes the importance of this.
He sees it as a way to reflect on your progress,
Yeah, to see how far you've come.
to learn from your mistakes,
Right.
and to inspire others.
He says that documenting your journey can help you build credibility
Okay.
and trust with your audience.
Okay, how so?
Because when you're transparent about your struggles, it makes you more relatable.
Right.
People see that you're human, that
Yeah.
you're not perfect.
And it makes them more likely to trust you
Exactly.
because they feel like they know you better.
Yeah,
So it's about being authentic and vulnerable
it is, yeah.
and letting people see the real you.
Yeah.
And Vaynerchuk believes that documenting your journey is essential for building a lasting legacy.
He does, yeah.
He wants us to share our experiences with the world
Right, to help others learn and grow.
and to make a positive impact.
Exactly.
So another big theme in Crushing It is the importance of embracing failure.
Absolutely.
Vaynerchuk sees failure as an opportunity to learn and grow,
Right, he encourages us to reframe our perspective on failure.
to see it not as a setback, but as a chance to get better.
Exactly.
And he says that those who are afraid to fail will never reach their full potential.
Right, because they'll never take risks.
They'll play it safe,
Yeah.
and they'll miss out on opportunities.
So he's encouraging us to be bold and experiment.
Right, and to learn from our mistakes.
And he gives some great advice about how to leverage different platforms.
Yeah, he says that we need to understand the strengths and weaknesses of each platform
Right.
and tailor our content accordingly.
Because what works on one platform might not work on another.
And he encourages us to experiment and see what works best.
Right, and to be willing to adapt as the digital landscape changes.
And he also talks about the importance of building a strong personal brand.
He does, yeah. He says it's essential for anyone who wants to make a real impact in the world.
It's about defining who you are,
Yeah.
what you stand for,
And what value you bring to the world.
and he gives some great advice about how to do that.
He does.
And he also stresses the importance of connecting with your audience.
Yeah, he says that genuine connections are the foundation of a successful brand.
It's not just about broadcasting your message.
Right.
It's about building relationships.
Exactly. It's about treating your audience as individuals.
Yeah. And he says that we should be actively engaging with our followers.
Right. Responding to comments, answering questions, having conversations.
And he also talked about the importance of embracing the future of technology.
Yeah, Vaynerchuk is a big believer in technology.
He encourages us to stay informed about emerging trends, to experiment with new platforms.
And to be willing to adapt as the digital landscape changes.
So he's saying that we need to be open to new ideas,
Yeah,
and we need to be willing to change with the times.
absolutely.
So Crushing It is a really powerful book.
It is.
It's full of great advice, and it's a must-read for anyone who wants to succeed in the digital age.
I agree.
All right, so let's break down Crushing It into like 10 key takeaways, 10 actionable things our listener can do.
Love it. Yeah, let's give them some real tools.
So first, strong personal brand. We've talked about it, but it's so important.
It really is the foundation.
Yeah, it's like your North Star. Guides everything you do.
Exactly. It's about what you stand for, the value you offer, who you are,
Okay, second, got to embrace the digital landscape.
which is constantly changing, of course.
It's like a whirlwind out there. New platforms, old platforms evolving. You have to be ready to adapt.
Right. You can't be everywhere, but you have to be strategic about which platforms you're on.
Makes sense. Okay, third, dedication, persistence, hard work, no way around it.
No shortcuts. Right.
Yeah.
Building a business takes time.
Like they say, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Exactly.
Okay, fourth, provide value. Be a teacher.
Yeah. Share what you know.
Yeah.
Help others.
I think that's so important.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Fifth, embrace failure. Don't let it hold you back.
You mean everyone makes mistakes, right? It's how you learn.
You got to be willing to mess up.
Yeah, and learn from it. Come back stronger.
Okay, sixth, experiment. Adapt your strategies.
Because one size doesn't fit all, right? What works on one platform,
Might not work on another.
you gotta tailor your content.
Okay, seventh, be authentic. Engage with your audience.
People can tell if you're not being genuine.
Right, got to be real. Connect with people on a human level.
Yeah, build that community.
Eighth, document your journey. Share your story.
I love this one. It's so powerful.
It is, yeah. It helps you reflect, inspire others, build trust.
And it creates a legacy.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, number 9, Collaborate. Partner with others.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Two heads are better than one.
Leverage each other's strengths. Expand your reach.
And 10th, embrace the future of technology.
Always be learning, right?
Yeah, stay curious, experiment, adapt. It's moving so fast.
It is, but it's an exciting time.
So there you have it, our 10 takeaways from Crushing It, a framework for achieving your goals in the digital age.
Really powerful stuff.
And, it's not just about business. These principles can be applied to any area of your life.
I think that's a great point.
Yeah. So no matter what you're passionate about, whether it's starting a business, building a brand, or just making a difference in the world, Crushing It can provide you with the inspiration and the tools you need to succeed.
It's a great roadmap.
So if you're ready to start crushing it, we highly recommend checking out the book.
And that's it for our deep dive into Gary Vaynerchuk's Crushing It.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining us.